Bada boom. All right, and we are in. One of the biggest changes to this season is very much in pace of the game. Normally, you have a minute before the game starts, but the game starts within 30 seconds, so there's no time to do any aggressive early plays. Everyone just kind of has to stay in their lane and stay safe. I really, as someone who plays both Aurora and Orianna, I find that matchup very stressful as Orianna. Aurora has a lot more mobility than you and is very hard to pin down. Jax versus Aurelia is a very classic top lane throwdown. Jax is very scary at an early level. So is Aurelia, but Jax himself has one of the most dangerous level 1s and level 2s in the game. Lance actually getting poked down relatively early on, and Nico Yunara in bot lane is a very aggressive lane. Orianna and Nami are good crowd control. They're good deterrents, but they basically rely on one ability to do that, and they're both behind, and Orianna is getting ganked. Doesn't have her get off me ability, and as I said, has no protection. And will die here, leaving mid lane wide open. She's not going to be back for another 20 seconds, and even then she has to walk back to the lane. Very strong opening from Eastern so far.
Yeah, it looks like Eastern's pretty much tearing Western apart.
Yeah, and right there, that was Nico's ultimate. Now, wait a minute. This could be big. Corgi is still stronger than Yunara at level 6, is going to get a kill, and Corgi being on the board is very strong. But Gwen is here, but not going to be able to get anything because Nico can just hide under the tower. But yes, so far, this is a steamroll. That was very good for Western, though. Western needed that. And he kills me twice. I'm like, all right, it's over. I just turned the game off at that point. There's nothing I can do. And right now, Eastern is doing what I said Western has to do. They're committing multiple resources to just dunking on one person. You're not safe under your tower when there's free blokes shanking you there. You know, you're just not. And now the tower falls because there's no one there to defend it. This is the consequence of being too passive. If they let this dragon go, they're losing a turret for it right now. If they let this dragon go, the game is it's even more over for them than it is right now. So that's why Gwen is going to try to give her life. Mistimes the smite, and it's going to be disastrous. Gives her life for nothing. And now Eastern is just going absolutely ravenous. There's blood in the water, and there is nowhere to swim. You are in the Pacific Ocean. You're done. And during this time, all their people on the bot side, Inferno's on the top side, just smashing the tower with his stick and getting away with it. There's no one to stop him. Normally, in an online game, you can forfeit around this point. And a lot of people do forfeit. To be blunt, a lot of people forfeit when they don't need to forfeit, when there is still a chance to come back into the game. In the comp scene, you don't forfeit. So, all right, but we do have a fight here, and for the first time, Eastern is outnumbered. Gwen did use her ultimate, but Nami ultimate misses, doesn't hit anybody. That's not good, but there's still potential here. Going to catch out Drywall, but Drywall going absolutely nuts with a Wukong spin. And the Gambit doesn't pay off. They almost had him, but almost is not enough.
Triple kill.
It was Inferno that kicked off the momentum, but wait, Inferno is surrounded in a 3v1. This is a chance to really show off. 4 versus 1 on Inferno. Gets the kill on the Gwen. The Nami ult misses, and now backup's coming. Inferno just diving into the fray, not afraid of anything, and the cavalry is here. Inferno survives a 4 versus 1 ambush.
And he's barely getting...
Yeah. Jax has an ability, when he does like this big twirl, he blocks all attacks. And they should have known that when they were ambushing him, but they didn't respect it. And so, but again, I don't blame them because what can they do? They're in their own base. This is home invasion. This is like my worst nightmare.
Yeah, and they're all dying.
Yeah. No. Yeah, a double for both sides of the team, and that's it. Game's over. There's nothing they can do to defend their base. And Eastern taking a clean first game, 23-1. 23-2 now, but only because they intentionally died to the tower. So 1 kill against 0, and then 1 kill for the tower.
Yes.
That is rough. That's gotta be a hit to the morale. All right, folks, and we are back this time with a live draft rather than the post draft. So Eastern is going to be blue side, and Western will be red side. And I would say the Smolder is the most dangerous player. Considering Fakorki last game was making the most aggressive plays, was doing their absolute best to bring the game back. Hello, sir. Our support is unhinged, clearly. Anyways, considering that Smolder is such a win condition, if you have a strong Smolder, it doesn't matter that the other guy's strong, right? So considering that that was the player that gave the best performance the last game, and they're playing a character that can win the game by themselves, that's the character to watch out for, and that's the character I think Eastern needs to shut down. Here we go. And it's not Graves in the jungle, it's Graves top lane, which really changes the dynamic of a team. Wait a minute. They didn't go for Dragon at all. They instead are weak. That is a very smart move. They're weakening Eastern's bot lane, essentially. Oh, but wait! Malphite's there with a level 6, and suddenly, the whole fight has turned around. It is a ballroom blitz, and even though Lance is going to go down, there is no way to take this. There's no way to take the Dragon now. Yeah, Vi can't do anything into Malphite. That's like punching an actual rock. I don't know if you've ever tried it, but it really hurts. All right, looks like we're trying to get a little bit of an ambush set up on the set. The wave is going to go into the tower. When the minions go under the tower, they start taking the fire from the tower. So this gives an ample opportunity to make a play like this, where you just kind of harass him, and he's not even safe in his own house. Set is a very strong character at low HP, but it's not enough. The Malphite ultimate's got to secure, and Drywall!
More minions.
Oh no, Drywall gets killed by the aftermath from the tower shots. And wait a minute, our bot lane falls apart right there. That's an advantage for the Smolder. Oh, but wait a minute. Bot lane's coming back with revenge. This is exactly what I was talking about in the last game, right?
Right.
It's like if you go behind, you need to make the risks. If you don't take the risks... Oh, wait, Smolder. What are you doing, Smolder? Smolder, that's not worth it, buddy. And just like that, the advantage is gone. I don't know. He must have smelled something delicious or something. I don't know what would make you walk into that neighborhood at that time of day. Western has priority in this fight, and there is no Malphite ultimate to contest him. Malphite's ultimate is what makes him a champion. And without that, and their jungler's not here, this dragon is as good as Western's. And that's 2 dragons for Western. And wait a minute. Drywall caught out. Another kill for Smolder. Another dragon for Western. This is going much better for Western. I think Eastern might have slept on them a little bit just based off of how free that first game was. And Lance out of position, but it's a bait to bring in the Malphite ultimate. And Malphite, again, very good at taking a beating. And Graves is going to come in, and this is exactly, they're going to turn it around now. And now mid lane is exposed. Now the set is up above, looking for an entrance, but it's feeling a little awkward about it. Isn't quite able to come in and save his friends. And though set is here, it's going to be enough to take out Drywall, but Drywall has done his part. Drywall started the fight, and so if Drywall dies now, it's not that big of a deal. There's not really an important objective to take right now, so sacrificing Drywall to kill the entire enemy team is a sacrifice worth making, and they're going to get the mid lane tower. And a big reason why that's important is mid lane tower, that's nearby Dragon, that's nearby Grubs, that's going to let Eastern be pushed up further into the map now that that tower's not there anymore. He's basically a free tower take. Now, going to have a bit of a sloppy initiation from Western, and that's the thing in League of Legends. You can get a lead, everything can be soundly possible, but execution is everything. That said, Eastern dropping the ball a bit. We are forced to run away from this fight. Western making the needed sacrifice. Yeah. This is exactly what they need to do, and they're looking pretty comfy. And Knowledge lets you take fights like this, where you know that no help is coming. Yeah, going to pin down the Vi, and with the Vine gone, a lot of backbone is gone. Now, this set is a menace, and this is where I think picking Graves is a bit of a doozy, because later on, Set does kind of dunk on him. Now the Set is going to fall, and Easter is coming ahead, making some very aggressive plays. And there's what I'm talking about with Kaisa, where she can just kind of dash in. And now, Eastern is in a position to rip open the enemy base, and the game has basically been turned around. So it doesn't matter how many dragons you have. Baron swings it, and catching the Set out of position, that's one of the most pivotal players on the team. Now once again, Set fine low HP, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter right there. And with that, we have map control. Without Set, Smolder is much more vulnerable and can cause much less damage. And we will be doing precisely that. We will be taking Baron while also distracting them in bot lane with the Graves, doing a distraction play so the entire team can't be there, because if Wei leaves, bot lane is exposed. All right, we got a fight going on, but we have an ambush ready to basically zone them off. There's no way for them to get onto this Baron. Vi would have to aggressively give her life, and she's not ready for it. Smolder can still pop off, absolutely. But it is getting more and more statistically unlikely, especially because these fights are starting with Smolder not even there. Like, every second spent in a fight with Smolder is a bad second, is a second you don't want to be spending. But Smolder's not even here for most of the fights, so it doesn't even matter that they have him. Any power he has isn't enough. And yep, Set's going to go in, give absolutely everything they can, and it's not going to be enough. Now, that said, Eastern, forget what that said. That said to that said, Eastern's got to dunk on them, and with the Baron Nashor buff, they're going to seal out this game. We worried for nothing, as they are the victors. So many of their resources were used on Drywall for Malphite, which, as I said, all Malphite has to do is hit one button, and then his job's done, right? They really needed to focus their resources on shutting down Zero. They needed to be Zero haters. Because they weren't Zero haters, Zero was able to just go completely off the wall and be an even bigger threat than with Smolder.
Oh, cheeseburger.
And the burger eat?
The victory burger.
Unhinged.
Well deserved, well deserved.
And that is
They took one
Pocket
bite.
Burger.
How long that's
You
been
know
in
what?
there?
I got respect for a man with a pocket burger.
Yeah.
Yeah, never know when you're hungry. These people are hungry.